اهلا بكم في بودكاست الكارير منين. Welcome to podcast الكارير منين. I'm starting English because we have very special guests and we'll be doing this episode in English. We have Wafaa and Juan. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having us.
Pleasure is all mine. So I want to start with your both background. So you both have career regarding heritage, history, old buildings, ancient history. So, and you started in Egypt, you started in Guatemala. So let's start with you, Wafaa.
Okay, so my name is Wafaa Abdelaziz. I graduated from the Faculty of Tourism and Hospitality.
Okay.
I'm originally a tour guide, and now I'm preparing my master's in ancient Egyptian art.
Okay.
And Juan and I, we decided to start Footnotes because we were actually kind of bored of Alexandria. we were bored of how we were passively perceiving our city, yani. And that's why we were actually taking 3-hour train rides to go to Cairo to do something new when we were actually leaving a city full of stories behind. That's why we decided to go back, research the city. And that's how we started Footnotes.
Okay. And I don't want to skip directly to city footnotes. There is a lot of stories.
No, we will go back to it, don't worry.
Okay. How about you, Juan?
So I'm originally from Guatemala. My background, it's actually as a lawyer. I graduated from law school, but I found myself that I wasn't such a good lawyer because I always think about what the other party believes on. So I wasn't good of just standing in one position, but I found my way by becoming a mediator. So my background is mainly on cultural mediation, which is facilitating dialogues between people of different cultures, different backgrounds, and so on. So I did my master's in conflict mediation, and with that, I joined United Nations. I worked many years with United Nations. I've been traveling the last 10 years of my life in Geneva, Spain, Italy, South Korea, Colombia, and so on. And then I came here to study Arabic here in Alexandria.
Okay.
My plan was to stay 1 year, but I met Wafaa, and my plans changed, so I've been here in Alexandria.
Okay. Yeah. Which Arabic were you planning to study?
At the beginning, I didn't understood that there was a difference. So I came to study Fusha. And when I was trying to speak in Fusha, people will reply to me immediately in English. They will not connect with me. So I immediately understood there is an Egyptian Arabic, and I went for it. Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel with the different versions of Arabic?
Actually, it's a huge challenge, and especially I love reading. So I realized that even though I kind of speak a little bit of Arabic, I cannot access the books, and I suffer because of that.
And it's different from the Spanish. Like even in South America or in Guatemala or Spain, there may be different accents.
Yes,
but it's all in the same area. It's
exactly.
Not that
or the same as English, like people from different countries, they can understand each other, and the writing and the speaking is quite similar. With Arabic, is more challenging.
Okay, and then you two guys met?
Yes.
When was that?
In 2021, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been 4 years.
Okay.
I used to work at the Bibliotheca Alexandrina Antiquities Museum for 1 year. So during which I met Juan. And so actually he tells the story way better than me. He tells the story way better than me.
Okay.
Well, telling you from my side, as I told you, I was studying Arabic, and kind of a coincidence, this was during the pandemic. So a friend of mine from Guatemala, he came to Egypt, and he asked me to show him around.
Okay.
And he told me there was a museum below the Library of Alexandria. Actually, I have been many times in the library, and I didn't know there was a museum. Shame on me, because I have already been there. And I have been already 9 months here in Alexandria when that happened. So we visited the museum together, and Wafaa was the one who was showing us around.
Okay.
And from my side, it was immediate, the click. For her, it took her way more time, but from my side, it was for me, it was immediate. And what is kind of surprising is she was wearing actually the mask. I couldn't see her face, but her attitude.
It was COVID.
Yeah. So the way that she communicated immediately attracted me. So my challenge, as I have already been in Egypt a few months, it was, how can I get her phone number without asking for her phone number? So I played to be completely lost in Alexandria, that I was trying to make friends, that I couldn't find anyone to show me around, and she voluntarily gave me her phone number to show me around Alexandria. And from there, I was able.
Plan. He was like, I've never been to the jewelry museum. I was like, how come? You should go to the jewelry museum. And I would be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it started.
Okay. I don't know what happened to my mic, but it's fine. My voice is loud anyway, so. Okay. And for you, Wafaa, it's not easy for an Egyptian girl to get married for a foreigner, especially if not Middle Eastern.
Yes.
So how was it? How was it? All this dilemma? Not going into details, of course, but generally.
Well, I'm actually very lucky because the things went in a weird way, but it worked out. So, like 6 months after we met each other, Juan's visas ended and he had to leave Egypt.
Okay.
So most of our relationship happened when he was abroad, and it was a long distance relationship
for 1 year and a half.
For 1 year and a half.
Wow.
So it was a slow burn, and then the first thing is that my mom noticed. So she was like, "What's going on?" It's like, "You're not acting yourself. What's going on?" But she knew that Juan existed in my life as a friend. She didn't know that it went beyond that.
Okay.
So she was like, "What's going on?" Like,
you were in the friend zone.
At least for my family. So she was the first one to actually realize it. And like, we sat down. I told her that Juan left, and we are in a relationship and so on. And it took her like at least 2 months to wrap her head around that. And then my sister knew.
Okay.
And then my mom and my sister are the only ones who knew. Then my grandma knew. Then my younger brother. Then my elder brother. Then my father. So it took them. It was a cycle of every family member knowing, like grasping the idea, wrapping their heads around it, and then and also all of that while he was abroad. So for any Egyptian Middle Eastern family, that was perfect. Yeah. That he was a person far away. She's not hanging out with him, so on. So they met him through video calls, through voice messages, and so on. And it was a slow burn. It was really nice. It was very and also a big thing. It was Juan's commitment. He was showing so much commitment to my family, to me, that proved they trusted him and proved his commitment to my family over 1 year and a half, seeing how much he was dedicating so much time, so much effort to come and propose, to come and make it to take a serious step. He won my grandma like as soon as she knew, like, okay, he's coming to propose. Okay, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Yeah, and he was also compromising a lot. He was taking the extra mile to be with me, and that was alone very important to my family. And also my family, I'm very lucky to have them. They're very Egyptian,
of course,
but very open-minded at the same moment. Like my mom and my grandma. Because my grandfather was a ship captain, so he traveled the world, and he used to take my mom and my grandma with him. So they've experienced the world. They actually love Latin and Spanish culture, so it was amazing. It's like my mom was like, as long as he translates Julio Iglesias' songs to me, I'm okay. So it was fun. Like my family welcomed him and loved him from day one. They knew that there is a lot of differences there and a lot of cultural differences that we will have to get past to, but as soon as that was over, خلاص مصري.
Okay. And how about your side?
From my side, it was easier because I never planned to get married. So early on in my life, I told my parents, I don't think I will get married. I enjoy traveling abroad, and that allows me to have some freedom.
Okay, so it was not about being Egyptian or
No. So as soon as I told them, I think I found someone that I'm really willing to commit and I want to get married, they were like, we want to meet them. Actually, for my wedding, 26 people from Guatemala came.
Wow.
Like
The biggest delegation.
Just to see who was the girl that convinced me to get married. They were not sure if that marriage is going to happen, so they wanted to witness personally.
Just bear in mind that there are 15 Guatemalans in Egypt and 26 came to attend a wedding.
Yes.
So the ambassador was there.
The ambassador came to the wedding because it was
it was a big deal. Like, wow.
My family is very open-minded, so it was easy on that side, and they are very curious about the Egyptian culture. Something that really strikes me is because the moment that I took the decision to come to Egypt, I thought my parents will think you're absolutely crazy. Like, how come I was with a stable job in the UN, I wanted to quit and move to Egypt just like that? But when I told my dad, later on, he told me, actually, it had been my dream all my life to go to live to Egypt. So I kind of subconsciously might have absorbed the dream of my dad. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. I believe that we have something in common between Egypt and Latin America in general regarding family commitment and family bonding. It's something that's common. What's not common is the food.
Yes.
but I love Egyptian food. So sometimes, like if she sees me a little bit homesick, she's like, "Do you want me for us to try to prepare a Guatemalan dish?" And I'm like, "No, let's make full falafel, give navida, bil tomaten."
What's the most the most original Guatemalan food?
So we have many different foods that comes from the Mayan heritage of Guatemala. The names are actually Mayan. There is one called pepian. There is another one called caquic. And the traditional tamales of Guatemala are very, very unique. Yeah.
Okay. So, did you try Guatemalan food?
Not yet.
On a very small scale, and especially that we were the ones cooking it, so it's not it's not Guatemalan. It has partial Guatemalan influence, but I was the one cooking it, so no.
Okay.
But actually, she took I was a little bit homesick, and my aunt sent me a recipe of my grandmother. So Wafaa replicate the recipe.
And it was a 2-day event because we had to start the ingredients the day before and leave it in the fridge, and then it was stuffed turkey, and it was okay.
It was eatable, but
exactly.
It was delicious, but it had Middle Eastern spices because we cannot have the Guatemalan soup.
And the way I cooked the turkey was extremely Middle Eastern. I put cardamom and things. It's how my mind is wired.
Okay, but you didn't visit Guatemala yet?
No, not yet. I am really looking forward to it, but not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The problem is that it's quite far away. Like a flight from here to Guatemala, it's 48 hours.
Yeah.
So when we want to do it, we have to go for a month. So we need to stop everything because it's 4 days just to come and go.
Of course.
And we want to visit everything. So yeah, we will take 1 month and visit Guatemala.
Okay. So you got married. You're living in Alexandria. So what is your job now?
Well, I'm a teaching assistant.
Okay.
That's my day job. And Juan?
Yeah, so from my side, I couldn't continue with mediation here in Egypt. There is no that much culture of mediation. But one of the parts of mediation is language facilitation. So with that, I was able to connect with Cervantes Institute here in Alexandria. And my day job, or my afternoon job actually, it's in Cervantes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're both teachers in a way or
yes.
another.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. And what developed the idea of City Footnotes?
Yeah, so mainly our focus now is City Footnotes. We're putting so much effort and so much time in developing it.
How it was developed the first time?
Yes, but actually, just a disclaimer, it's called Footnotes. It's just the hanger that we had to add the city before the footnotes because we couldn't find the footnotes. But now we call it City Footnotes by mistake sometimes. Yeah.
So footnotes. Okay.
Yeah. What happened is that, again, we were traveling to Cairo because we were going to the same spots every Friday. So we work very hard during the weekdays, and then we have only like a Friday to enjoy, and we go to the same coffee shop, we go to the same restaurant, we are doing so it was basically, to be honest, out of boredom. That we were, one day we decided to go to Cairo in December, and it was extremely cold. Like Alexandria was way warmer than Cairo at that moment. And we went to Cairo to explore, to do something new, because Alexandria is boring and there is nothing to do in Alexandria. And then we went, I don't know if you're familiar with a coffee shop called Al Hurriya in city center Cairo, which is exactly like a Tugareya here in Alexandria. So we went, took a 3-hour train to go to Al Hurriya. And then we will have to find accommodation, and like we were in, and it was extremely cold. And then we thought, like, what are we doing? Like, it's exactly like a Tugareya. Why didn't we just go to a Tugareya and enjoy the city that we decided? Like, Juan is his city of choice, and it's my city. Like, why aren't we enjoying Alexandria? So we went back, and we decided that, okay, we will start exploring the city, go to those coffee shops that we normally say, no, it's just a coffee shop, is just a Tugareya. Go enjoy a coffee there, go try the food, read about the history of the city. And then we found that we accumulated so much knowledge and so much beauty, and that's how we started our first tour, which is Seeking Beauty in Alexandria.
Yeah, and for me it's also like a kind of a feeling that I need to have in my life. I've been a traveler the last 11 years of my existence, and just stopping traveling at the beginning was kind of a shock. But I'm aware that you don't need to go that far to keep that adventure feeling. So this project is a way for us to push each other to explore more Alexandria, and the layers of this city are endless. So we will never stop exploring and discovering new things. So even we kind of have a tour, we are just scratching the surface of that part of the city. Let's not say the whole city. So that feeling of continuously going to a new coffee shop, to go into a new restaurant, to meet someone else, to meet someone that give us information of a part of the history of Alexandria that we never knew before. That keeps me excited all the time. So for me, it's very useful. And also, with this process of discovering the city, we realize how much our emotional experience of the city changes with having this knowledge. So, for example, I work in Cervantes, and I never knew that it was the oldest building on 4th Street. And learning the history of Filippo Pini, the guy who used to live there, every time I go to Cervantes, I feel it in a different way. The same building is exactly the same that has been the last 200 years, but my experience of it is different. So we wanted to share that emotional experience to other people too.
So a lot of people, when they study history, they find a struggle finding the right references. Or the right books that do the history in the right way, not in a manipulated way. So how difficult was it for you, especially for Alexandria, such a cosmopolitan city, and everyone like searching for where was the great Alexander living, the tomb, or where he was living, or is it really that street that Saint Mark was what's the word? Some people say that the church is the same place he was living, or something like that.
Yes.
Navi Daniel, where the tomb used to be.
No, Saint Mark.
St. Mark, yes.
Yeah, where the church is, and in Roman Station, it's the same place where he lived or not. There's a lot of mystery about this, and some people say it with much confidence that they make you believe it, and you don't know if it's right or wrong. There is no reference for that. So how much of struggle did you guys see?
A lot. You know, the irony is that our tours are mainly focused on 19th, 20th century of Alexandria, not that far away. We are talking about 200 years, 150 years, 100 years. But this period of time is not well documented, because many of the families that used to live here, they left the country very soon, very fast. And the oral tradition was broken in that period of time, because it was a turbulent time, not only in Egypt, but all around the world. So many of those stories are lost. And part of our idea with this project is to try to dig into these stories and bring them back to the discussion of the history of Alexandria. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's challenging.
So
for sure.
how do you reach such stories?
Well, first of all, there's an abundance of references about 19th and 20th century, but they all depend on the personal archives of those families. So we cannot access those private archives ourselves. We have to go through a publication that have studied the personal archives. So again, it's a chain of knowledge that at the end it reaches through a book or an article and so on. But actually, we've been very lucky with the amount of help that we've been having from institutions working here in Alexandria, studying 19th and 20th century Alexandria and cosmopolitan Alexandria, who have had the access to those archives.
Okay.
But you're absolutely right. Is again, when you're analyzing the history of a family or the history of a city, you get to form ideas of how this life was, and you might project a certain idea that might not have been true actually. So it's very difficult studying history is to try to keep a very blank perspective or try to be extremely is it subjective or objective?
Objective. Yes.
I get confused.
Yeah.
You have to be extremely objective with how you read the history because like we're reading a lot about the foreign communities living in Alexandria who used to live there. Of course, they created so much beauty. Of course, the diversity of the city at that moment was extremely enriching to the culture of Alexandria. You had the Greeks, you had the Armenians, you had the Italians, the Egyptians. This interplay was magnificent. But at the same moment, you cannot romanticize it because, again, that's partially what we say in our tours is that they were creating beauty for their communities. And most of the Egyptians were living in the Turkish town on the other side of the city. You have to be extremely critical when you study that history. But the irony is that 19th and 20th century Alexandria is not as well documented as Greco-Roman one or the Hellenistic one, which is like, it's actually funny.
And another huge source of information for our tours have been the people who join our tour themselves. So there are many passionate Alexandrians, and I think our tour touched that nerve, and so many people who really feel connected with the city join our tours, and they bring their stories with us, like many share pictures of their families and so on that we can later include in our tour and make it more rich.
Okay. This question we can cut it out of the episode if it's sensitive, but in addition to all the nationalities you mentioned and or the people who had lived, there are also the Jews.
Yes.
And sometimes information about them is much sensitive because of the current situation. And we have, I admit, we have a mix between Judaism and Zionism. We put it in the same. So, especially in Ramle Station, where most of the tours you have, there is a lot of buildings that has been owned by Jews. So, were you able to get some history info about that, or was it critical at all?
As you know, there is this dual dimension of identity that you might see in that period of time, which is connected with nationality and religion. So when we studied the heritage, particularly of the Italian community, most of the Italians have a background, they were Jews. They were coming mainly from Livorno, which was a city that at the beginning accepted many Jews, and later on, when they found themselves in risk, they moved to Alexandria. And also because of the role that they play in Alexandria, it became very relevant in the history. Most of the Muslims, they didn't participate in the financial system of that period of time, and the Jews took the role there. So they capitalized a lot of money, and with that money were able to build a lot of structures here in Alexandria. So their architectural legacy in Alexandria is huge. So it is part of the tour, of course.
Yeah, but it's not well documented. You have to search for reliable stories somehow to get the real info, right?
But actually, they are very well with tracking their genealogy or their trees, family trees. And they have websites very well documented, to the extent that sometimes when we open those websites, I hope no one is checking my web history, because I am checking one Jewish family after the other. Well, we cannot escape talking about the Jewish heritage when we talk about Alexandria, of course, and we hope that the recipients, the people who come to our walks, can differentiate between Judaism and Zionism, especially that those families, at least the first generation of those families, they were Egyptians, they loved Egypt, and they were just Jewish. Maybe after that, with the rise of Zionism, maybe things changed, but those early Jews were just Jews living in Egypt, completely loyal to the country. So we have to mention their heritage. And actually, there are books, a lot of books called like Jews in Egypt, Jews in 19th and 20th century Egypt. There are books talking about.
There is a documentary that were made on 2 parts, Jews in Egypt.
Yes.
And the first part was actually played in the cinemas. Second part was on YouTube, and actually it documents that your point that many of them they were against Zionism and they didn't go to Israel. A lot of them in France, and some of them still stayed in Egypt somehow. They found a way to stay.
Yes. And it is a sensitive topic, of course, with what's happening around it. They make it, to be honest, with what's happening, it is very difficult for the commoner, to the regular bystander, to be able to differentiate or to see the separation. They make it very difficult, to be honest. But at the same time, Alexandria wouldn't have been the same without the Jewish heritage. And it's a must. Like most of the families, most of the people we talk about were Jewish.
Okay. With all these difficulties and all that effort that you're doing the tours for free?
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
I saw it on the page and I didn't believe it.
Yes.
And you even give giveaways and you print the names of on each one.
Yes.
This is actually
and we clarify in the website says seriously it's for free because it's the recurrent question.
I went through the forum and you mentioned serious about 2 things, that it's for free. And if you guys want to cancel, please do it at least 24 hours before the tour.
And that's connected with the printing part. We print them up with the name of the person. So if we want to give the space to someone else later on, if you want to cancel, we need the time to put the name of the new person and be able to print it. Also because we want to keep the groups small. So we have a space for, let's say, less than 10 people in each tour. With us, it will be 12 people. We want to keep it very, very small. And sometimes people register, they don't show up, and they are taking the space of someone that might want it to be part of the tour. And we need to postpone that person a few weeks after So
Again, why for free? You do it on Friday morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you only have Friday as a day off.
Yes.
So what's the concept?
Of course, it might evolve to a business, but nevertheless, this free part of the project will always be there. Part of it is the real desire of creating this deep connection between us and the city and among ourselves. That is why also we keep the groups small, to create these connections. Yeah.
But let's be clear that we were starting it with only our readings of the city. We're not professionals. So we were thinking, how can we charge for something that we are not sure that is we wanted that space to be free of any obligations. We read that, we want to share it. And that's actually how we connect with people, because we don't want anything but for you to have a nice morning with us, to now after our walk to enjoy the street in a different light, and also help us grow, give us information, share your family heritage with us, and so on. So we actually how can we have that freedom of playing around if we charge?
Okay, that's a good point. So how was your first tour? When you made your first tour and you announced, how many people came in the first tour?
3
Okay.
out of 6.
Okay.
But not exactly the 3. Yani those 3 happened because one participant brought a friend. That's it. So actually, from the original 6, only 2 came.
2 came and 1 brought a friend. So total,
Exactly. And it was actually very funny because I was extremely nervous. Even though, again, it's just a friendly meeting. We will walk around the street, no obligations, nothing. Just have fun, help us grow, that's it. But I was extremely nervous, and Juan saw it. So he told me, okay, if no one shows up, we go have coffee. And as if nothing happened, like history will not remember that.
I was trying to convince myself that it's not a big deal. But once you create something, you're putting yourself there.
Yeah.
And you feel it in a personal level. If no one shows up, you feel the deception at the personal level. You feel like you didn't communicate properly and so on.
Yeah.
And especially that the first time that we offered the tour, we did it in the random Facebook group, which was posted there. And actually, we were surprised that 6 people registered just for a post that we did on Facebook. But nevertheless, we were very stressed. But actually, that tour was really it gave us a lot of information. Also, it gave us a lot of friends. One of our closest friends nowadays was in that tour.
It's the first face we saw. Like, shout out.
Yeah.
He was the first one. Like, we saw him walking towards us, and Juan told me, maybe he will stop. And then he stopped. And he was like, are you Wafaa Juan? And we told him, yes, hi. And then then the other girl showed up with her friend. And that's how
But with his face, we knew there is a tour. So with one person, there is a tour. We can walk with someone and show them around Alexandria. But they gave us a lot of feedback of the things that work and didn't work about the tour. And we perfected. Every time that we do the tour, we try to absorb the information that we receive from the people who take the tour. And every time it's a different tour. We try to add something new. We try to adapt to something that we have received of feedback. And yeah.
Okay. So it amazes me such dedication and effort that you do for something that you do, again, for free. But you really love what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Exploring whatever the corners of the street or the city.
Yes.
So back to the first point, why Alexandria? Okay, Wafaa is from Alexandria. You got married, but you could have traveled anywhere else. You could have moved to Cairo or
just
whatever.
To give you the backstory, I decided to move here when I was 13 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my dad used to give me books of Naguib Mahfouz. So I used to read a lot about Egypt, and I developed a taste for philosophy later on.
I believe many of South Americans, when they know about Egypt, it's always Alexandria because it's by the sea.
Yes.
And it's the great library of Alexandria. It's where Hypatia was and so on.
And for me, philosophy, Neoplatonism started here in Alexandria. I wanted to walk in the streets where those philosophers walk. And later on in my life, I opened a bank account and I put an alarm in that bank account that represents the amount of money that I needed to live 1 year here without working. And when that alarm rang, I wrote my resignation that same day. I bought the plane ticket and I moved here. Okay. So Alexandria is the third party in our relationship. We met here. All story of us evolving this city. So there is an emotional connection between us and Alexandria. Some people have asked us, have you thought about doing it in Cairo? Cairo is a fascinating city, but our emotional connection to this place give us the energy to give those special touch to our tour that people can feel. Okay. So we are very connected emotionally and people can read that emotion. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So your first initiative to move to Egypt is to learn Arabic. So what was the story or the idea behind learning Arabic?
There is a story behind it. To be honest, I wanted to take a break. I was working with the UN. My last work was working in the dialogue facilitation between the guerrilla groups and the army of Colombia. So I was absolutely burned out after the dialogue facilitation after the peace agreement in Colombia. So I wanted to take a break, but a productive one. So I wanted something that will be challenging, but in a different way that a normal job does.
Yeah.
So I wanted to explore a language that will not allow me to think in the way that I think. Like from English to Spanish, I can change one word from another, and it kind of works.
I get your point, yeah.
In Arabic, it doesn't work like that. Like what takes me 5 words in Spanish is just one word in Arabic. So it really pushed me to start life almost like a kid. I couldn't read, I couldn't speak, I couldn't connect symbols with sounds I have never pronounced. So that challenge was exciting.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So what was the most amazing, or the most surprising info that you learned about Alexandria or the history of Alexandria?
Good question.
I will tell you, for me, is the history of cinema in Alexandria. It mind blow me. It's my favorite part of our tour.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that the Lumiere brothers, just a few months after they premiered the first film in Paris, they moved to Alexandria. And in the Muhammad Ali Club in Fouad Street, they show moving images to Alexandrians for the first time. And it also shocked me that they decided to start that industry here, because it was the perfect setting for a creative, innovative, new business. And as Alexandrians were able to speak in many languages, many producers from France, from Greece, from Italy could move to Alexandria and create films. And also shocks me how creative Alexandrians were. There is a story of El Cinema El Masreya that used to be here, that was the first one who created subtitles here in Alexandria. So next to the screen, you will have the movie, and they will put a small TV with the subtitles synchronized to the movie. So yeah, it really fascinates me the role that Alexandria play in the cinema of Egypt, and how later on it became the third most important cinema industry in the world after Hollywood and Bollywood. So yeah.
Okay.
I would have to agree, of course, with the cinema part. It was absolutely fascinating to see the posters. Like, for example, the art of poster making started in Alexandria and then moved to Cairo, because cinematography started in Alexandria and then moved to Cairo. But for me, to be honest, just the history of one street, that was what fascinated me, is that now we have 2 tours. We've curated 2 tours around one street, only one street in Alexandria, which is Fouad Street. And we were able to develop 2 completely distinctive tours because of how rich the history of that street is. And it's just one street in the many of Alexandria. That alone fascinates me. The first, we usually have printed like printables with us to help the people visualize the stories behind the buildings. So in the first page, we have 5 panels of history of the same street. And you could see how the development of the city through its streets, and it's amazing. Like, to be able to find this wealth of information is mind-blowing, to be honest.
And it's all about the 1900s.
Exactly. And
it's not about
the whole history,
the Greco-Roman or the Coptic or the Islamic.
Exactly. What we focus about is things that have been built in the 1800s through the 1900s. That's it. And that's amazing.
But because that's the architecture that is visible next to you. Nevertheless, we always tell the history of the street itself, which is also, for me, fascinating to think that street has been there for 2,356 years, continuously, actively used. But the architecture around is 19th, 20th century. So we focus on that period of time,
Okay.
And I'm sorry, but also when we were doing our research, all the people that you will think of, for example, Winston Churchill, those people during World War I, World War II, people that you read about in books, have all visited Alexandria. In one way or another, Alexandria, or Egypt, more or less generally, has been part of that of history. It was really the center of the world. Egypt was really the center of the world, specifically Alexandria, as it's the main port. It's amazing how you will find all of those characters that you read about in books being in Alexandria, having part of their history here.
Okay, wow. You mentioned a lot about cafes and restaurants, and also that's how the whole story about footnotes started. So, what is the most unique or the cafe with the most amazing story behind it? Cafe or restaurant?
Story-wise, I think Sofianopolis is one of the, story-wise, the most interesting, because it's 1908. It has been there for 117
100
years.
plus,
Yes. And how it started as a post office for the French, and then a Greek guy was able to switch it to a coffee shop, and because of the port of Alexandria, we're able to bring beans from Yemen, from Ethiopia, Colombia, Brazil. So all the world was available through coffee beans there. And how they have kept that place until nowadays, I think it's a beautiful example. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Pastrudis, even though Pastrudis is not there, but its legacy is still there, and the new owners still keep the plex and the name of Pastrudis very well visible.
Okay.
I really like Pastrudis, how they were extremely smart with their branding, and that they were started as a bakery and then grew into a patisserie and also a bar and a tea shop. Also, they had a beachfront branch, which was called the Monseigneur, where most of the families had their engagement parties, until quite recently, actually, because my mom still in her memories remember the Monseigneur. So it's amazing. I hope I'm pronouncing the French right, to be honest.
It's okay.
Yeah, but it's really, I also like Pastrudis a lot, the history of Pastrudis.
Okay. Regarding pronunciation, how many times you have been called Juan?
Kitir. Yes. My name is very challenging for most of the people, because the ha sound of the jota in Spanish is unique.
Only 3 people besides Spanish, 3 people have the ha in their languages. Us, the German, and the people in Netherlands.
Yes.
As far as I know.
Yes, and most of the Latin languages, they don't have it, even if we are the same root of language.
Yeah.
But that's our Arabic heritage.
We know it here in Egypt that the J is sometimes is a kha because of the football.
Yes.
Like when we have a new coach from abroad, he's Portuguese, so it's Manuel Jose.
Yeah.
It's not Jose, but he's Spanish now. It's Jose.
Yes.
That's how we know it. Mostly in the streets.
Yes, my second name is easier. My full name is Juan Carlos.
Okay.
So Carlos is more accessible, but Juan is still a challenge for many people.
Okay, so you have been told
most of the time I'm Juan, and I'm okay.
And it's not in Egypt. If you met a Portuguese guy or a guy from Catalan, you're Juan for them.
yes, and for Asians I'm Juan. So it's okay. I've been traveling abroad enough time to accommodate to the pronunciation of the place where I am, and I'm okay. I also cannot pronounce certain people's name. It's also hard for me, so it's fair.
So with all the traveling you have done, which is the most unique country regarding language or food or traditions,
again,
aside from Egypt, of course?
But I have to say that the most interesting one has been Egypt, because I feel like there is adventure in me trying to navigate the city every day. So I never get bored. But in terms of way of living, the south of Spain have like one of the best conditions for develop a sense for happiness in life. That I really appreciate how they are not only focused on working hard, they work hard and they learn how to enjoy their free time in
Spain, like Sevilla.
Yeah, I used to live in Cadiz, and it's very close to Seville. So yes, all these Mediterranean south of Spain culture is really, really nice.
Okay. With all this travel, and you mentioned some Arabic words, so Juan speaks Arabic and we will try to see.
ماشي.
اوكي. ايه اكتر اكل بتحبه في مصر؟
اول واحده المساء.
مسقعة.
تحفه المساء المفضل ليا. انا بحب المساء. امبارح اكلنا فته مع جدتها.
تمام
صح،
برافو.
ايوه. فالفته وكل الاكل في الفطار. ايوه في الفطار.
تمام. وانت بتحب الفول والفلافل؟
قوي الجبنه بيضاء، الفول والفلافل، البيض بالبسطرمه.
I know.
هي عارفه المنيو.
I already know the breakfast.
عارفه الاكل.
ايوه
اوكي. ايه اكتر مكان اكتشفته في اسكندريه الاكل بتاعه عجبك قوي؟
محمد احمد.
محمد
اول واحد. ايوه نو داوت. في مكان تاني اسمه وادي النيل.
اوكي.
ايوه وانا ممكن
البان وادي النيل.
البان وادي النيل. ايوه وانا ممكن اشرب لبن
اورجانيك.
ايوه رز باللبن بالقشطه والعسل. تحفه. انا بحب الاكل المصريه.
العربي بتاعك كويس على فكره.
لا نص.
لا
بس انا مغصوب.
انت محتاج تشتغل شويه على العين.
أيوة.
بس ده عادي. ده العين صعبه عندي.
والحا
اي بتعدي. اوكي. طب انت بالنسبه لك بقى لما جيتي عملتي الاكله الجواتيمالي وشفت الريسبي، لا بجد لقيتي كام حاجه؟ انت قلتي استعملتي بهارات مصري في الاخر.
ايوه.
كان في كام حاجه انت حطيتي بدلهم حاجات مصري؟ يعني كام حاجه من المكتوبه في الريسبي كتبتي حاجه بدلهم حاجات مصري؟
هو اول حاجه كان في هام، طبعا صعب قوي، it's not accessible. شلناه وحطينا لحمه مفرومه.
اوبا.
غيرناها خالص. where else؟
عملنا برضو اكل اسباني في دوا.
لا بس he was asking about the ingredients that we had to substitute.
ايوه the chorizo بالسجق.
الشوريسو غيرناه، حطينا في كده زي نوع من انواع السوسجز more popular in Spain actually. ولا it's also available in Guatemala right؟
الشوريسو.
الشوريسو احنا طبعا ده صعب قوي، فجبنا عادي سجق بقالي.
صباح الفل.
تحفه. او بجد كان تحفه. ايه تاني برضو حاولنا نعمل التورتيه، بس هما بيبقى عندهم نوع من انواع الدقيق، بيبقى دقيق ذره ومعمول بطريقه معينه كده بيخليه to stick perfectly وكده. احنا طبعا دقيق الذره بتاعنا لا يمت بصله بدقيق الذره عندهم. هما they are culture of corn، يعني هما عندهم زي ما احنا culture of wheat، هما corn. فهم دقيق الذره مختلف قوي عندهم.
بس التاكوس بالسيلانترو صوص حلو صح؟
اوكي.
لا بس احنا يعني صراحه مش فاكره قوي الريسبي، لان الريسبي هو كان بيترجمها لي لان مكتوبه بخط جدته بالاسباني، فهو كان بيترجمها لي على قد ما، وبرده مش فاكره قوي الصراحه. بس انا فاكره ان كان في طبعا موديفيكيشنز كتير يعني، وانا بسلق التركي اصلا كنت حاطه بقى حبهان وورق لورا والحاجات
بتاعتنا بقى.
اللي هو ايوه بقى عشان الزفاره بقى وكده، لقيتها بقى قلبت خالص. فراخ محشيه.
اوكي. هي اتعلمت اسبانيش؟
لا
شويه بس هي فاهمه. هي فاهمه لو انا بتكلم اسباني مع بابا وماما هي فاهمه، وهي ممكن بقول جمله بالاسباني مثلا.
ايه اللي هي اللي انت معلمها لي. تو لوميناس تودو ايجيبتو.
والترجمه
انت منور مصر كلها.
بالاسباني.
اوكي.
بس انا بقول لوميناس غلط، هي لوميناس.
لا مظبوط لوميناس.
تو لوميناس.
بس هو كده اشطر في العربي اشطر منك في الاسباني.
of course يعني انا صراحه I haven't dedicated much time لمذاكره او لتعلم اللغه الاسبانيه.
والراجل في سيربانتس وبتاع. يعني
عيب والله. عيب والله. لا عيب. لا بس very soon ان شاء الله.
اوكي. طيب ايه اكتر experience بما ان بقى اتكلمنا على الطبخ وكده، ايه اكثر experience اخدتوها في المطبخ مع بعض وباظت باظت خالص.
التورتياس بجد.
لا وانا بقى عايشه بقى بدور بقى الست الجواتيماليه يعني. وبعد كده كانت تخينه. كنا بنحاول نعمل اصلا ناتشوز، لان الناتشوز هي عباره عن تورتيه متقطع تراينجلز وديب فرايد. طبعا كان تكسير سنان، طلعت وحشه جدا ولا تمت بالناتشوز لصله يعني، ما فيش اصلا حاجه. لا وفي حاجات كتير قوي باظت مني، بس في الاول خالص ملهاش علاقه باكل جواتيمالي يعني. في اول الجواز في حاجات
لا عموما حاجه باظت.
يعني مثلا مره عادة لما بتجيب فرخه من الفرارجي بيقوم حاطط لك اللي هو القلب والكبد والقوانص والحاجات دي في كيس، حطها جوه الفرخه. انا سلقت الفرخه بالكيس اللي فيها وكده بصورها لماما، بتقولي بصي هو بيبقى فيه كيس جوه، هل انتي طلعتي؟ قلت لها لا، وانتوا بتحطوا كيس جوه الفرخه ليه؟
ودي الام لما تبقى عارفه كويس.
It wasn't written in the recipe so she didn't do it.
انتوا بتحطوا كيس جوه الفرخه ليه يعني؟ طبعا كانت في حاجات كده، بس والله I caught on very quickly.
لا هي شاطره جدا بجد.
ما انت ما تقدرش تقول حاجه تانية.
لا طبعا.
لا بس العربي بتاعك تمام. برافو
حبيبي.
برافو. طيب تحب لو قلنا الستيب اللي جايه للفوت نوتس، ماشي انتوا لسه في شارع فؤاد، ايه حابين تزودوه على فوت نوتس جنب شارع فؤاد؟
سؤال كويس. I think there is a balance between what we want to do and what is easy for us to do. So for example, Manche is a fascinating area of the city, and we would love to go there, but we don't know how easy it is to walk with a group of people around Manchea without disturbing the environment and being able to listen to each other. So that is what we are trying to balance, these places that we are really interested in and what is going to be a good experience for the people who join with us. So to be honest, we don't know yet which will be the next step.
But again, Alexandria has really opened itself to us in a way that is absolutely marvelous. يعني and knowledge brings knowledge. يعني احنا when we were developing or curating the first tour, we didn't have any idea how we would develop the second tour, but then knowledge brought us the information and we thought, oh perfect, that would be amazing for the second tour and so on. Now we have an abundance of ideas. However, we have to sit down and really think what is feasible, what is not, because again, walking with 12 people on a street is a tricky thing to do. They have to listen to us. They have to be standing comfortably on the street in a shade. They also have to bond. Mainly what we want is that for people to bond and make friendships out of our tours. We don't know if it actually have happened, يعني, but we hope that it have created that harmony enough. The next part, يعني, there are endless possibilities, بس هي feasibility بقى. Feasibility will have to.
Did anyone from the government or Ministry of Tourism try to approach you to cooperate somehow or so?
No.
For cooperation? No.
But if you're listening to this podcast.
Okay. Because I believe what you're doing is adding great things to the knowledge of Alexandria, and if anyone wants to explore really the core of the city, it's not about here we had Kite Bay, here
exactly.
There is the stories of the streets itself, and a lot of tourists or backpackers, or that's what they enjoy. Yes. They don't go to the mainstream things many of the time. So what you're doing is really adding value. So I thought maybe someone will reach you out.
But maybe in the future.
Maybe after this podcast.
Yes. We hope. No, but again, we've just started that. Relatively, we're very young in the field. فممكن later on people will approach us and we will be.
Yeah, I understand you only started this year, but you're gaining momentum. It's true. Like many people now know that there is something every Friday morning.
Yes.
Maybe they didn't know exactly what it is, but there is something.
And we get very excited when someone tell us that they joined because they saw us walking with a group and then they found that it was us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's true that the word to mouth is growing because we haven't done any marketing campaign at all. It has been all organic growth, and we're happy with that.
Yeah.
And we want to continue sharing that.
And you know what? It's easy in Alexandria.
Yes, it's a small.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it in Arabic. We say
أوضة وصالة.
من غير صلاة.
أوضة واحدة
أوضة
بس.
من غير صلاة. أوضة بس كلنا. Yeah, like when I open your page, I have seen a lot of common friends already on your page.
Oh, yes. Amazing.
So it's أوضة من غير صلاة.
Yes. Yes. And the word of mouth is we're extremely grateful. Like we've been asking people lately, like, how did you find us? And it's like a friend told a friend, I saw you on someone's story and so on. And it's amazing, really.
And also something that we need to mention that we're very grateful is that many people, as we are doing the tour for free, they want to give something back. And for example, there have been photographers that have done free photo sessions for us. We haven't paid anything for all that support and connections, and everything has been...
and people helping us with references, helping us with the research. It's really, really, it has been a blessing. Yani, the amount of good human vibe that we've been on the receiving part of it is amazing.
Okay, great. With today's world, with everything going on social media, so how good are you managing social media, especially for your tours?
That's actually her work. Social media, she is doing a great job. Okay. I will have to say for you that great job.
Well, actually, we've just realized how important social media is, because before we started Footnotes, we were actually taking a lot of time having detox months, yani, without using our apps. We used to have actually no screen Fridays, so we would close our phones, do something more with our hands, with a read and so on. So we were those people who would try to stay clear of social media. But then Footnotes happened, and then we realized that social media is such an important tool that we really have to learn how to use and use smart, without also affecting our personal lives. But really, I've been having so much fun trying to come with the identity, with the brand identity, with the colors. But it all started with brainstorming. Like we brainstormed together the name, we brainstormed together the logo, but everything has been between both of us. Like the effort has been equally shared. And we try to come up with information. Like our Instagram page is mainly, the purpose of it is to make Alexandrians, when they land on our Alexandrians specifically, Egyptians in general, but once they land on our on our Instagram page, they think, we're so proud of being Alexandrians. We love Alexandria. That's what we really want. So we try to do everything to revolve around this one single message. And we've been I've been so much fun. I have been having so much fun with the graphics. The ideas mainly come from Juan. Like he thinks about the post, he thinks about the idea, and then I try to execute it.
But actually also something that we are trying to do with our social media is to try to call the right people to our tour. So of course we want to grow, of course we want to collaborate, but the most important for us is that the people who come to our tour, it's someone that is really interested in the history of Alexandria, that really wants to connect in a deeper level. So also our content is very geeky, so it's directed to other geeks like us to come to the tour.
Okay. So how did you come up with the name, or what is the name represents? Footnotes.
The name is a play of word. First, we call it Footnotes because we want to connect with Alexandria on our foot. So we believe that in order to connect with our heritage, it's not enough to watch a movie, but you need to walk it. You need to feel it with all your senses. You need to breathe the breeze, the ocean breeze, the sea breeze in Alexandria. You need to hear it. You need to physically experience the place. But also footnotes, because footnotes is this tiny information that sometimes is not that visible in a page of a book. And we want to research this tiny information that is a little bit hidden and bring it back to the main story. So it has these two sides of the name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, the footnotes alone don't make any sense. Like the الهوامش that are usually at the end of a page. But without the footnotes, you cannot get the whole picture at the same time. So you have to read the text and then also read the footnotes. So that's
and also on our tour, Fuad Street is the main story, and the buildings and the people who live inside those buildings are the footnotes that give meaning to Fuad Street. Yeah.
Okay. Aside from Fuad Street, or maybe in Fuad Street, what is your favorite building?
I know mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a separate question for each of you.
You can
Okay,
start.
I will start where you think. There's a very small 2-story building called the Lutzato building right in front of Cervantes.
Okay.
And it is absolutely gorgeous. It's Art Nouveau, and at least to my knowledge, maybe after this podcast, people will approach me and show me other examples. But at least to my knowledge, this is the only Art Nouveau on Fuad Street and maybe in Alexandria. So it's an extremely beautiful, tiny building. And it's completely abandoned, and it's a masterpiece. It's really art in stone, and it's amazing. I love it.
And my favorite one is a building that is just called Building. In the books, its name is Building.
Okay.
Immeuble.
Immeuble, in French. So
maybe.
it's a building. I don't know if I'm going to be able to explain exact location, but it's just before Shera Safia Saglul. There is a building that it has kind of a tunnel through which you can connect Fuad Street to Comedeka inside the building. So I love the idea that they develop a building that creates beauty not only for the people who live inside, but it has a purpose and a function in the city itself. So that is why it's my favorite building. Yeah.
Okay. And if you maybe one day expand outside Alexandria, where do you think maybe would be next destination?
Port Said.
Port Said. I was thinking Port Said too.
We love Port Said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Port Said, I think.
Yeah.
It's all by the sea anyways.
Yes. And Port Said has this, Port Said is maybe the smaller version of Alexandria. It's a port city that had a lot of European influence that was able to interchange with Egyptian local culture. And it's such a laid-back city. They are so happy there. Even the taxi drivers are driving so slow that we actually really love Port Said.
Both Port Said and Port Fuad.
And Port Fuad, of course.
Both are beautiful cities.
Okay, that's remind you something which is something weird, because back in days in the podcast I had Ali Kandil, one of the most famous stand-up comedians in Egypt, and we talked about specifically Alexandria and Port Said. And he was speaking about the audience when he do a stand-up comedy show, that the audience from Alexandria and Port Said are very, very unique.
Yes, I can see that.
And that he enjoys being in Alexandria and Port Said personally. He enjoyed that. He lived in Alexandria for some time. And there is something it's not tangible. I don't know what exactly it is, but you're doing tours in the city, and your next destination is Port Said, and many of the artistic people, and I quote from Ali Kandil, it's about Alexandria and Port Said. There is something I don't see what it is exactly, or I don't like, it's not tangible, as I said.
It's a feeling.
Yeah. But maybe about being a cosmopolitan city.
Yes.
Maybe
and by
being
the
by
sea.
the sea.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly.
The lifestyle itself. Like, I can imagine Alexandria back in the day when it was a little bit less crowded. It had more or less the same feeling as Port Said.
Yeah.
Port Said now is still very very quiet city, you wouldn't find a car passing like for minutes. You would be walking on the street and there would be no cars. It's lovely. Yeah.
And the food is also amazing.
The food is also
yeah. It surprises me that you're from Guatemala, sorry, and you live in Alexandria. And when we spoke about food, when you speak about food, you didn't mention anything about seafood or fish.
Well, I love seafood. I love the singeri.
Singeri.
Gandofli, Verdo. So yeah, it has to go into the list.
Yeah.
But some of the challenges that I found with the Alexandrian gastronomy is that when I was just a tourist learning Arabic, I couldn't access to that food. Most of that food is behind the walls of a grandma house.
Yeah.
So it was when we got married that I tried her mom's food, her grandma's food, that I really connect with the gastronomy. Yeah.
Because most of like, again, what you call mainstream or maybe famous, it's famous for tourists, or for visitors, but the famous for locals,
el kushari Iskanderani,
it's a whole other thing.
Exactly.
Like the only exception could be maybe Muhammad Ahmed. That
no one disagrees on Muhammad Ahmed.
But that may be the only exception. He's famous for both, like for both locals and visitors. But other than that,
no, not that much.
Okay, from the name of the podcast, الكارير منين, or where to start the career. So, all the thing about history, heritage, being a tour guide, being a facilitator, whatever it is, where to start the career. If someone is really fascinated with all the history about Egypt or any other country and want to start a career now, they didn't get the chance to study, they were not in the faculty of tourism, whatever it is, maybe like you, they were in another faculty, and they want to start now. Where to start?
For me, in my opinion, a huge resource that we sometimes not appreciate that much is books. Books are a cheap, huge amount of source of information that is available for us. So for me, the combination of reading a lot and putting that knowledge in practice is the best school nowadays that we can have. Like most of the things that we do with footnotes, we didn't learn it at university. We are learning it right now on the way. So for me,
how to put it in practice?
How create your own project. For me, it's such a wonderful experience to create your own project because you immediately receive a feedback of what actually matters and what not. So you think that something is very important, but when you put it to the public, they don't react. Maybe this is not that important. Something else might be. So that feedback, immediate feedback, is extremely useful for growing as a person and in a business too.
Okay.
And we also, I know it's like kind of counterintuitive being in a podcast and saying to people, listen to podcasts. But really, we've been listening to a lot of podcasts on how to start a business, how to do that trial and error phase. So it's honestly, you have to go back and self teach yourself whatever you didn't get the chance to teach it. To study it in a school. Go back to books. Books have everything you want. Always there's a book for whatever you are looking for. And also if you don't like reading, you can always listen to audiobooks. If you don't want audiobooks, you can always listen to podcasts, because you have to create enough knowledge for you to start from that point of knowledge and then move forward. Start your project. Like think of an idea. It doesn't have to be perfect at the beginning, and then just execute it. Start it, and give yourself that chance to readjust. And that was the perfect thing for us, is that we started with what we had. So we took 1 month to curate one tour, and then at one point we said, okay, we have to start. So we get the feedback. And we start to adjust to what we receive. And from day one, from the first tour, we got very good feedback points that it completely changed. Like at the beginning, we had like we had the entire street in one tour. We curated a tour that starts from the beginning of Fuaz Street until Nabi Daniel. And the first feedback was it's too long.
Yeah.
So we split it into two, and without that we wouldn't have had two products to give to the people.
Okay.
So that was the first thing. The second thing is like maybe you should slow down a little bit and so on. So it's the fact that you have to start at one point. Don't wait to perfect, because that's a big issue. At least I have that problem that I need to push myself to start, because starting is a step. And then wait for the feedback. Give yourself a space to receive feedback and adjust to it. But if you want to start a career in heritage or a career in history, you have to really do your research and then start from there.
Okay. As we mentioned in the first of the podcast, that it's not easy to access the real books. So where to find them? Like, not everyone is in Alexandria. There are people in other cities, so not everyone has access to Bibliotheca Alexandrina somehow.
Yeah.
So where to find the right books, either written or audiobooks?
I think for me, an advice that I try to put in practice with myself is follow your curiosity. So if you're curious, just by watching some post online, you will end up getting into the sources that you are interested. So we are living times where all the information is available there online. We just need to channel the curiosity and actually go and read the information that is already there. Actually, even that's something that we say in our tours. We don't create any information. All the information is there. We just had the curiosity to go and put it and assemble it in an experience. But
So of course, some of the books you will have to go physically to a library to access them, and actually sometimes more books are in Cairo than in Alexandria.
Okay.
But there are like the digitized formats of those books you will find on specialized libraries. Like you will find it on archive.org, and those are international platforms. It's not specific to Egypt, and you will find most of the books that you want, or at least a book that will lead you to another one. And that's the whole point of research, is that you just need the tip of the line, and then from that you go to the other, and then and then it leads to a sea of knowledge that gets you overwhelmed. And then you have to just push yourself back again. It's like, okay, one book at a time.
And one starting point for Alexandrians, it could be See Alex.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's online, and they have in any topic of the history of Alexandria, is there online available.
Is the French Center for Alexandrian Studies. They have been doing amazing work around Alexandria, both archaeological and also cultural. So they are doing archaeological missions around the city. They've been publishing about the Hellenistic history of the city, and also the Cosmopolitan. They have one of the biggest libraries of Cosmopolitan Alexandria here in Alexandria.
Wow.
And they are doing an amazing job, actually. So that's one starting point. But they also digitized their books, some books.
Okay.
And with that, it's actually a very, very good
starting point.
Okay. And how much can people rely on documentaries?
Actually, a lot. Sometimes you have to go through because some of those documentaries are with the descendants of those families.
But recently some people don't really trust documentaries. You know, last year there was all that dilemma about the Cleopatra thing that Netflix did.
No.
So not everyone really has.
Don't go for a Netflix documentary.
But it can be a documentary from National Geographic and still be has some sort of
I agree.
version somehow.
They have moved to more entertainment than informative documentaries.
And they have an agenda behind it. Somehow.
But again, if you have been looking for many different sources, immediately it will not click that information. It will not match to everything that you have already.
So I have to go through
I think books
different
is
sources, not just one source.
Yeah.
No, but for example, you have to also look for the person who is conducting that documentary.
Yeah,
But there's a very beautiful documentary called تلك الإسكندرية, and it's amazing, and it shows the Italian heritage through the descendants of the Italian family, and it's amazing. Because those people might allow or they might agree on one documentary and then they will stay silent. So how will you access their voices except if you go for that one documentary that they finally accepted to do. So go for documentaries is amazing, but again, thank you for pointing it out. Look for the source, look for what they're trying to say, and also try to be critical. Like, don't just perceive information and just store them there. Just
don't take it for granted.
Have a dialogue. Have a dialogue with the book. Have a dialogue with the article as well as the documentary. Try to say, why are they telling me this, for example? That would be a good question.
Okay, great. Wafaa and Juan, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mario,
thank
for the invitation.
So
it was really amazing, and good luck with the footnotes.
Thank you
so much.
And I hope you expand not just for Alexandria, for other cities and other countries as well.
Hopefully. Thank you.
And maybe someday we will meet again after you expand your page.
That would be very nice.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening up and or watching us on YouTube. Of course, all the links and social media for Wafaa and Juan and footnotes will be in the description of the episode. And if you want to know about any other career, if you want to know about any other careers, hit us in the comments or the DMs. And thank you for watching الكارير منين. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.